a lot of mental toughness and physical toughness to be proud of with our guys. They keep practicing hard. They keep showing up. I thought they came out and tried their best to make a game of it. We had we lost a strong safety, our backup strong safety on Thursday, and probably the worst thing that could have happened to us there from a defensive standpoint was to get our Justin Johnson, our starting strong safety, tossed out of the game for the targeting penalty. It was a targeting penalty. Not that anybody needs my validation of the official call there, but it was clearly targeting and not the way we teach tackling. So that put us in a hole. We also lost our starting corner early in the game to a concussion, Tyzel Lewis, and so ended up playing quite a bit depleted there in the secondary. But I thought the guys hung in there. Credit Montana for a great effort on defense, the shutout, and other than that, I'll just accept any questions.
What was the biggest challenge trying to run the ball against Montana?
I would say blocking. Montana was very aggressive, brought a lot of players into the box, and were aggressive with their schemes and strategies, and they were able to hold up on the edge. We thought that going into the game that the best way to get them loosened up and run the ball was to open up and throw the ball, and yet we lost out on the edge, and we gave up sacks, and so it was clear that the game plan from that perspective wasn't going to work. And then from there we were really just kind of handing the ball off and trying to block and seeing if we could muster anything. We just weren't able to consistently do that against such a great defensive front.
You mentioned this week that you guys have been starting off halves well in the first and third quarters. You haven't been able to continue that. I thought that played out again today, but I thought a really big swing in the game was the start of the second half, right? You guys get the penalties taken down into their half, but you don't get any points, and then they hit you with the drive back the other way to make it 20-0. Can you just walk me through the sequence of drives at the start of the second half there?
Sure. Yeah. We were somewhat fortunate there with the penalties, the breaks. A late hit on the quarterback isn't something that we're forcing the other team into or anything like that. And so we just when we didn't take advantage of that, I thought a little bit of demoralized effort on defense. We followed that up with a demoralized effort, and the final score shows a lot of points for Montana, no points for UNC, but quite a bit of short fields for our defense. And I think, but at some point, the only people that remember that are the defensive coaches. The players and the fans and everybody in the stadium is just kind of thinking, wow, Montana's rolling it up on the Bears now. I think even our defensive players just lost some of their luster there after we weren't able to punch in that good field position deep in their territory.
How prepared were you guys for Montana to bring in number 8 at quarterback? And just in your opinion, what did he bring to their offense? Because he did lead 2 touchdown drives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think both quarterbacks led for touchdown drives, so I think they're similar from a standpoint of they're dual threat quarterbacks. They can make throws. It's probably just a matter of who's getting the reps right now in practice. In my opinion, they both look capable, and we had a difficult time at times with both of them. So I would say our preparation was blind, but the fact that they've got so much similarities in the style of their play, I don't think that was really an issue.
You guys did well, I thought, on special teams, particularly limiting their return game. What was the game plan for that? I mean, they have very dangerous punt returners, very dangerous kick returners. How were you guys so effective in limiting that part of their game?
I thought on our punts that we were able to give, we had a couple that just didn't go very far, kind of the miss hits. But on the punts that we were able to get out, we got adequate hang time. Our punter operates with a really quick operation time from snap to kick, and so it's really hard to pressure us. So we're able to get a lot of guys into coverage, and that's led to pretty good punt results for us all year. We knew going into the game that we would see a fake. That's a Coach Houck. They're going to be consistent and be ready to have fakes or onside kicks or something like that, and the 2-point conversion try. And so I thought from that standpoint, our special teams held up well. We were ready to defend the 2-point conversion try, and we were ready to cover kicks as best we could. Get the interception on the fake punt effort, which like to knock that down, but it's really hard to teach guys in the secondary all the time to get done. So.
Going into the Idaho game, Montana 6 sacks. They didn't have any in conference before that, and they obviously got to the quarterback today. And did you see anything different as the year gone on when you were looking at them on film, and why maybe they're starting to get pressure more the last couple games?
Well, yeah, hard to say. I guess we took the most from probably from UC Davis and Idaho in terms of being offenses like ours. We're built a little bit more to throw the ball first and try to set up the run. And I don't think we've completely found our identity on that yet. So you hear some wavering in my voice. It's because I don't know if that's necessarily what we should be doing with the record that we have here, but that's what we're trying. And so I don't know really. We've kind of paid attention to the most recent games, and it seems like that Montana's got capable pass rushers. They've got an aggressive system, and they're able to hold up enough on the outside edge. So I don't know. I don't know if it was maybe just the opponents they were playing. As far as you can just decide not to give up sacks by running the football, getting rid of it quickly, moving the pocket a lot. And, we feel like our best chance to be successful is to try to set up a pocket and get the ball downfield to our receivers and try to set up some favorable run numbers in the box before we try to run the ball.
What's the message to your team for the rest of the year, especially as you try to establish this thing?
Yeah, just my message is to lead by example, to show up with great energy and appreciation for the guys who are there and working hard. And I would say that on one hand, that's worked all year and my whole career is to be a leader through hard times. I'll continue to do that. I'll continue to bring my best for them and see who responds. On the other hand, I recognize that our record is awful and it's depressing. It's embarrassing. So, I think there's a great test for all of our coaches and all of our players to find out who will meet me on that end and who will keep showing up.
The really heavy platoon subbing on defense. Have you guys been doing that all year? Is that something you've gone to recently? And sort of what's the reasoning behind that?
Probably seeing a mixture. We do that quite a bit on our defensive line. We feel like we've got a fairly flat depth chart with the defensive line. A lot of guys that can come in and out and keep each other fresh. And then the fact that Montana changes their personnel quite a bit compared to a lot of teams at the FCS level. There's teams that'll stay in 11 personnel and a whole drive. Montana tends to switch back and forth. So some of ours are substitutions for our purposes, and some of those are just to match up to the opponents. That's probably why it looks like there's a lot of guys coming in and out at times.
You coached a Big Sky championship team at Southern Utah. Did you see any sort of championship qualities in this Montana team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're built for complementary football. They've got a fantastic defense, a strategy on defense and special teams that complements their run-first offense, and they can be dynamic enough on offense with good players and not turning the football over on offense. And the quarterback can run the ball and give +1 in the box. So I think there's no team that they can't match up very solidly against. They're going to be, I think, in every game.